Good evening, students. My name is Hemlata and I'm your teacher. And we are going to today do the chapter 18, that is body fluids and circulation, class 11th biology. And I'm sharing the screen with you. It is related to the circulatory system, the chapter. Circulatory system basically consists of three parts, which is human heart, which is a muscular organ, and then blood vessels. Different kinds of blood vessels are there, like arteries, veins, and capillaries. And the third thing is the blood, that is the fluid, which is fluid connective tissue. And we are going to discuss these things just in a minute. So in the lower organisms, the circulation is not needed because the lower organisms are just, we can say, have diffusion is sufficient for them. But in the higher organisms, well-developed the circulatory system is needed. So you can see it is a blood vessels and which is on the alveoli, and blood act as a transporting fluid. Blood is made up of liquid part called plasma and a non-liquid part consists of cells and the cells fragments, which together are called formed elements. Plasma make 55% of the blood volume, and the formed elements make up other 45%. The formed elements that are suspended in the blood plasma include red blood cells, erythrocytes, white blood cells, leukocytes, platelets, and thrombocytes. There are about 4 to 5 liter of blood in average adult female and 5 to 6 liter in adult male. So this is about the blood cells. You can see in the image different kinds of blood cells are there. Blood is made of liquid part called plasma, and the cell formed elements which are shown here. RBC are biconcave. As you can see, they are concave cavity from both the sides, and plasma is making 55% of the blood volume. It is having the dissolved water, and rest made up of dissolved substances including nutrient, glucose, amino acids, lipids, and ions, sodium, potassium, calcium, chlorine, and gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hormones, and plasma. Proteins are there. Some waste are also there, like urea. Formed elements make up 45% of the blood volume. They include red blood cells or erythrocytes and white blood cells or leukocytes, and fragments known as thrombocytes, which are platelets. Now, the white blood cells are of two different types, which are the granulocytes or agranulocytes. You can see it's written here. Granulocytes have cytoplasmic granules in them. Granulocytes इसीलिए बोलते हैं उनके साइटोप्लाज्म में ग्रैन्यूल्स, उनका साइटोप्लाज्म होता है. यहाँ देख रहे हो ये ग्रैन्युलोसाइट है, आपको रेडिश कलर के पैकेट्स इसके पूरे साइटोप्लाज्म में दिख रहे हैं. दिस इज ऑल्सो ग्रैनुलोसाइट. Whichever cell you are observing here, which is having cytoplasmic granular structures, means round structures. These are granulocytes. Three kinds of granulocytes are there. We will study eosinophils, basophils, and neutrophils, and they have different kinds of shapes of nucleus. आप देख रहे हो कि यहाँ पर इस वाले WBC का हेडफोन टाइप न्यूक्लियस आपको दिख रहा है, बायलोब्ड. And in this you can see multi-lobed or tri-lobed nucleus is there. So granulocytes के दो important features है पहचानने के लिए कि उनके साइटोप्लाज्म में ग्रैन्यूल्स भी होंगे और उनके न्यूक्लियस भी होंगे, वो डिफरेंट लोब के होंगे. वहीं यहाँ पर लिखा था. मोनोसाइट्स और लिम्फोसाइट्स क्या होते हैं, विच आर स्फेरिकल न्यूक्लियस. इनका न्यूक्लियस स्फेरिकल होता है और साइटोप्लाज्म इनका बिल्कुल स्मूथ प्लेन होता है विद नो ग्रैन्यूल्स, एंड देयरफॉर इनको एग्रेनुलोसाइट्स कहते हैं. एंड ये डेड ऑर्गेनिजम्स को किल करते हैं. And these are killer cells, you can say eater cells. They later when go into the tissues, they are called macrophages. प्लेटलेट्स यहाँ पर दिखा रखी फ्रैगमेंट्स की तरह, पर्पल रंग के फ्रैगमेंट्स की तरह थोड़े. तो बड़े सेल्स मेगाकैरियोसाइट्स के फ्रैगमेंट से ही ये बनती हैं. थ्रोम्बोसाइट्स इन्हें बोलते हैं. दीज आर प्लेटलेट्स. ये किस में जरूरी होती हैं, ये क्लॉटिंग में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं. And these are produced from these are the third type of cells which are found in the RBC, which is found in our blood. And now Red blood cells look red because of the hemoglobin which is present in them, and hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment. You know that it transport the oxygen. Transport of oxygen is 97% done by the hemoglobin molecule. So hemoglobin is a iron containing protein which is a carrier for oxygen. It when bound with oxygen become oxyhemoglobin, and 97% transport in this way, and 3% oxygen is carried in the blood and plasma. The presence of hemoglobin, red blood cells oxygen carrying capacity बढ़ाते हैं 60 to 70 times. Oxygen combines with hemoglobin situation where the oxygen concentration is relatively high. This occurs in the capillaries in the lungs where oxygen diffuses into the blood from the air in the air sac. Oxyhemoglobin breakdown to hemoglobin and oxygen in situations where concentration is low. Oxyhemoglobin breakdown and release of oxygen occurred as in the tissues. While flowing through the capillaries to the between the body cells, the red blood cells give up their oxygen, which diffuses into the tissue fluid and then into the cells. Oxygen blood, ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड कैसे होगा? यहाँ पर डायग्राम दे रखा है, जब बहुत सारी ऑक्सीजन ऑक्सीहीमोग्लोबिन छोड़ देगा वो, और वो टिश्यू में चली जाएगी, और सॉरी जो बहुत सारी ऑक्सीजन एल्वेओलाई छोड़ देंगी और फिर वो हमारी ऑक्सी हीमोग्लोबिन पकड़ लेगा, तब ऑक्सीहीमोग्लोबिन होगा. So oxyhemoglobin will be formed by the bounding of the oxygen. 97% oxygen, as you can see in the RBC. These are the RBCs having the HB. HB means hemoglobin. So hemoglobin में ऑक्सीजन पकड़ लिया, अब ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड हो गया. अब ये ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड आर्टरी के थ्रू लेफ्ट साइड जाएगा, pulmonary के you can say blood capillaries in the lungs. It will be going into the left side. The heart will pump it to the tissue capillaries. Tissues आपको यहाँ पर एक ब्राउन कलर के स्ट्रक्चर की तरह दिखा रखे हैं, फ्लैट टिश्यूज दिखा रखा है. तो यहाँ ये टिश्यू है, इसके अंदर CO2 ज्यादा है, तो ये CO2 और ऑक्सीजन कम है, तो अपनी हायर कंसंट्रेशन से हीमोग्लोबिन इस एरिया में आया जहाँ टिश्यू है, तो ऑटोमेटिकली हीमोग्लोबिन ऑक्सीजन को रिलीज करेगा और वो ऑक्सीजन टिश्यू में चली जाएगी और बॉडी में भी फिर ऑक्सीजन पहुंच जाएगी. जब ऑक्सीजन पहुंच जाएगी तो बॉडी टिश्यूज क्या करेंगे? अपना मेटाबॉलिज्म करेंगे, ग्लूकोज को ब्रेक डाउन करेंगे, तो उनके अंदर CO2 बन जाएगी. जब CO2 बनेगी तो उसको क्या, वो भी प्लाज्मा में एज HCO3 आयंस के फॉर्म में रिलीज हो जाएगी. एंड और कुछ CO2 और कुछ कह सकते हैं यहाँ कार्बोमिनो हीमोग्लोबिन के फॉर्म में ट्रांसपोर्ट होगी. हीमोग्लोबिन कुछ CO2 भी पकड़ेगा और वो कार्बोमिनो हीमोग्लोबिन उसको लेके जाएगा रिलीज कराने के लिए लंग्स में वापस. Now transport of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is in the blood is carried in number of ways. Some of them are 7% to 8% dissolved in the plasma, and to 22% it combines with the globin part of the hemoglobin and become carbamino hemoglobin. Remainder 70% is carried in the plasma as bicarbonate ions. So 70% maximum bicarbonate ion के हमें प्लाज्मा में जाती है CO2, एंड ऑक्सीजन 3% डिजोल्व है प्लाज्मा में, और जबकि 8% डिजोल्व है प्लाज्मा में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. 97% ऑक्सी हीमोग्लोबिन के फॉर्म में जाती है, 70% बाइकार्बोनेट और 22% कार्बोमिनो हीमोग्लोबिन के फॉर्म में जाती है. CO2, as the blood is flowing through the capillaries between the body cells, and carbon dioxide diffuses into the plasma. Due to the difference in the carbon dioxide concentration, some carbon dioxide dissolved in the plasma, some combines with hemoglobin, but most reacts with the water to form carbonic acid. So कार्बोनिक एसिड कैसे बनता है? CO2 जब वाटर से रिएक्ट करती है तो कार्बोनिक एसिड बन जाता है. H2CO3 कार्बोनिक एसिड का फॉर्मूला है H पॉजिटिव हाइड्रोजन आयंस and HCO3 नेगेटिव बाइकार्बोनेट आयंस. Air sac of the lungs, the alveoli are surrounded by a dense network of capillaries. In the blood, in these capillaries, the reverse occurs. The carbon dioxide dissolved in the plasma diffuses out of the blood into the air in the alveolus. The carbaminohemoglobin breaks down and the carbon dioxide molecule release also diffuse into the alveolus. Hydrogen ions, bicarbonate ions recombination to form carbonic acid which then breaks down enzyme actions into the water and the carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide also diffuses into the alveolus. Transport of nutrients in the waste. Nutrients and the waste, apart from the carbon dioxide, which are very already discussed, that transported dissolved in the blood plasma. Nutrients, essential elements and molecules that are obtained from the food we eat. Inorganic nutrients are transported as ions. Some of the important ions dissolved in the blood plasma: sodium ions, calcium ions, potassium ions, chloride ions, iodine ions. Organic nutrients dissolved in the blood plasma include glucose, vitamins, amino acids, fatty acids, and glycerol. तो ये सारी चीजें हमारे खून में हमारे उसके थ्रू पहुंचती हैं, ब्लड के थ्रू, क्योंकि कुछ आयंस यहाँ पर जिनके नाम लिखे हैं वो भी, और न्यूट्रिएंट्स जो हमारे होते हैं फूड मटेरियल, जैसे कि ग्लूकोज, विटामिन, अमीनो एसिड, ये भी हमारे ब्लड के थ्रू पहुंचते हैं हमारी बॉडी टिश्यूज में. वेस्ट जो होता है, मेटाबॉलिक वेस्ट, जो सेल्स प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, कैन नॉट बी यूज एंड ये हार्मफुल है, तो ये रिलीज होना है. तो ये भी जब ब्लड के थ्रू ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाता है, उसके अंदर यूरिया, क्रिएटिनाइन, यूरिक एसिड टाइप का वेस्ट होता है, तो ये किडनी रिलीज करती है, किडनी ब्लड को प्योरीफाई करती है. हार्ट एंड द ब्लड वेसल्स. The heart is the pump that pushes the blood around the body. It's located in the middle part of the chest cavity between the two lungs. हार्ट पंप करता है, पुश करता है ब्लड को पूरी बॉडी में, क्योंकि वो मिडल है, चेस्ट कैविटी के मिडल में रहता है, दो लंग्स के बीच में. रफली कोनिकल शेप का होता है. हार्ट साइज के क्लोज फिस्ट मुट्ठी के बराबर होता है. अबाउट 12 सेंटीमीटर लॉन्ग, 9 सेंटीमीटर अक्रॉस, ब्रॉडेस्ट पॉइंट एंड अबाउट 6 सेंटीमीटर थिक होता है. अराउंड द हार्ट द कंप्लीटली इनक्लोजिंग इज अ मेम्ब्रेन ऑफ पेरिकार्डियम. हार्ट की मेम्ब्रेन को पेरिकार्डियम कहते हैं. दिस मेम्ब्रेन होल्ड्स द हार्ट इन प्लेस but allows the heart to move as it beats. The pericardium also prevents the heart from outstretching. The wall of the heart itself made up a special type of muscle called cardiac muscle and shown in the structure of the heart. This is the structure of the heart: superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, aorta, and pulmonary arteries are given. Pulmonary veins are shown, and left atrium, it is pouring the blood into the left atrium and left ventricle, and then the blood is going through aorta to whole body. Then the deoxygenated blood is coming in the right side from the right superior and inferior vena cava, it's pouring into the right atrium, and right atrium is transporting the blood into the right ventricle to pass it to the lungs through the pulmonary arteries. Blood vessels are of three types: arteries, capillaries, and veins. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Capillaries, which are tiny vessels that are carrying the blood between the cells, and veins, which carry the blood back to the heart. Capillaries microscopic blood vessels हैं जो network carrying the blood closely to nearly every cell in the body. This enables the cells to get their requirements from the blood and to pass their waste into the blood. The structures of the capillaries suits them to this function of exchange of material between the body and the blood cells and body cells. And the capillary walls have only one layer of cells. This allows substances to pass easily between the blood and the surrounding tissues. Now, diagram of the blood capillary wall, which consists of single layer of the cells. So this is the capillary wall, which is shown here. Single layer of cells is made of, and micrograph transverse section of the blood capillaries is shown. The single cell that forms the wall are dark areas at the top of the cells, and it is the cell nucleus in a red. Blood cells that's occupying most of the interior of the capillaries. The circulation, the blood pumped by the heart flows through tiny capillaries in the lung and in the rest of the body. It loses most of its pressure. After going through the lungs, the blood pressure is low, that the blood must return to the heart to be pumped again before going to the rest of the body. Thus, the heart is really a double pump. The right side of the heart pumps the blood to the left, to the lungs, and then the left side pumps the blood to the body. And this is shown in the figure. Here we can see that the right side is pumping the blood to the heart. The pressure is low. So it's again, it is taken by the heart, and now the more pressure is created through the aorta, and now the blood can move into the body. And so it is a double circulation. Circulation through the lungs is shown here. in the when it is going in the lungs, it is shown by the it is taken, the blood is taken by the pulmonary trunk to the lungs. So this is the pulmonary trunk. So it's from the from the right side, the blood is taken to the lung, and it enters again by the red arrow. It is shown, it is entering again into the left side, left atrium by the pulmonary vein, and then it is going into the aorta through the whole body. Whole body में आने के बाद फिर again it become deoxygenated, taken by the superior and inferior vena cava. वेना कावा वापस इनको लेफ्ट राइट साइड पे ले लेती है। यहाँ पर पूरा सर्कुलेशन आपको समझा रखा है, वॉल्व्स बता रखे हैं दोनों तरफ, राइट और लेफ्ट तरफ दोनों तरफ वॉल्व्स होते हैं जो एक ही डायरेक्शन में। यहाँ पर एरो आप देख रहे हो कि वेना कावा से जब ब्लड अंदर आया डीऑक्सीनेटेड तरह का, तो वो राइट एट्रियम में आया, राइट एट्रियम के बाद एरोस डाउनवर्ड है, यानी कि वो राइट वेंट्रिकल यानी लोअर चेम्बर में जा रहा है, लोअर चेम्बर के बाद वो अपर साइड जा रहा है, फ्रॉम टू द लंग्स जाना है उसको, तो पल्मोनरी ट्रंक के थ्रू, पल्मोनरी वेन के थ्रू वो लंग्स तक जा रहा है, और लंग्स में वो ऑक्सीजनेट हो चुका है, फिर वो पल्मोनरी वेन के थ्रू वो लेफ्ट साइड आ रहा है, और लेफ्ट साइड आने के बाद वो aorta के थ्रू पूरी बॉडी में जाएगा ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड। सो दिस इज द अगेन इट विल गो टू द होल बॉडी flow. This is the circulatory flow of the blood. Now, here we can see the valves are there. Semilunar valves are half moon shaped valves, and valves open and it will move the blood in only one direction. Blood pressure closes the valves. These are the valves. Blood flow, as we have seen, blood is transporting transport medium that deliver oxygen, nutrients, carry away the waste. The requirement of the cell depending on their level of activity. For example, when we are actively exercising, the muscles use up much of oxygen and nutrients. And when we actively exercise, produce more carbon dioxide and other waste than the body while we are sitting at rest. To cater for these changes in the requirement, the blood flow to and from the cells must be able to change there are two ways that can be occur: by changing the output of the blood from the heart, and by changing the diameter of the blood vessels supplying the tissue. Cardiac cycle is given. It is having various phases: systole, when the heart muscles are contracting; diastole, when the heart muscles are at rest, relaxing. Atrial systole means atria are contracting and they're pouring the blood, pushing the blood towards the ventricle. Ventricular systole means ventricle is contracting and they're pushing the blood into their respective arteries and veins. Respective arteries, sorry, not veins. Cardiac output. कार्डियक आउटपुट कितना, हार्ट कितना ब्लड दे रहा है पर मिनट में, वो कार्डियक आउटपुट है। कार्डियक आउटपुट इज मिलीलीटर्स पर मिनट, दैट इज स्ट्रोक वॉल्यूम, मिलीलीटर्स इनटू हार्ट रेट, बीट per minute, and it's approximately we have 72 beats, and in one beat 80 ml of blood will be pumped. So it comes out somewhat 5 liters, 5.5 liters blood, a cardiac output is there in the 1 minute. So flow in the artery and the flow in the veins. The flow in the arteries is the pressurized, and the flow in the veins is the relaxed way. You can see transverse sections of arteries and veins. More muscular, more thick are the arteries, and the less thick and the more relaxed are the veins, which are having walls also. Blood flow in the veins. So these are difference between the arteries and the vein. That artery carry blood away from the heart, and the vein carry blood towards the heart. The arteries have blood in the pressure, and it increases as the ventricle contract and decreases when ventricle relax, and the veins have the constant relatively low pressure. Arteries have thick muscular elastic walls because उसके अंदर pressure में खून जा रहा है, तो उनको muscular होती हैं वो, and relatively inelastic little muscle होती हैं vein में, have no walls. The arteries have walls in the veins. ब्लड क्लॉटिंग पूरा कॉम्प्लेक्स टाइप ऑफ इवेंट्स है। जब कोई इंजरी होती है तो क्लॉटिंग फैक्टर्स एक्टिवेट हो जाते हैं, केमिकली कैस्केड ऑफ इवेंट चल जाता है वन आफ्टर द अदर, एंड देन इट गिव राइज टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द क्लॉट, एंड फिब्रिन से क्लॉट बन जाता है। थ्रोम्बिनोजन से थ्रोम्बिन बनता है प्लेटलेट फैक्टर्स के प्रेजेंस में, देन थ्रोम्बिन फिब्रिनोजन को फिब्रिन में बदल देता है। The lymphatic system, lymph is a tissue fluid which is created when the blood is flowing from the capillaries and from the tissue area. So the blood is leak it plasma content and also some of the white blood cells, but not the red blood cells, and bigger proteins are not released. And the lymph is created. Lymph is drained and it is transported throughout the whole body by the lymphatic system. You can see in this image which is shown, the lymphatic system is shown and lymph nodes are shown. These Why this is important? Because in these lymphocytes are the major cells which are there, and they act as a defense mechanism. Immune system हमारा control करते हैं ये. B cells, B lymphocytes which are producing antibodies, T cells which are the T helper cells, T suppressor cells. So lymph nodes are having main aid role in the immune system. Blood role of lymphatic system is their major role is in the defense mechanism. Blood groups transfusion. The blood groups was discovered, as you can see, by 1901 by Landsteiner and in the laboratory. And RH blood was also there, which was discovered, and ABO blood groupings have antigens on the surface of the RBC, and antibodies are present in their plasma. Opposite antibodies are there, and RH blood is the group which is present in the rhesus monkey. So RH word comes from there, and RH gives a positive or negative sign in that. And this is a table. You can see which kind of antigen, which kind of antibody is present. These are the slide which are showing the A blood group, B blood group, AB blood group. Sorry, not. It's showing A blood group because A में clotting है, B में नहीं है. Type of transfusion, कैसे तरह से आपको ट्रांसफ्यूजन कराया जाता है यहाँ पर दे रखा है. होल ब्लड हैज केमिकल एडेड टू प्रिवेंट. जो हम अगर ब्लड डोनेट करते हैं तो जिस कंटेनर में उसे लेते हैं, जिस बैग में लेते हैं, उसमें हम थोड़ा एंटीकोगुलेंट केमिकल डाल देते हैं एंड देन रेड सेल्स कंसंट्रेट डाल देते हैं उसमें एंड सेंट्रीफ्यूज करके उसमें रख देते हैं. ब्लड प्लेटलेट्स कंसंट्रेट्स भी डाल देते हैं, प्लाज्मा लिक्विड पार्ट एंड क्रायो प्रेसिपिटेट्स. obtained immunoglobulin. अगर हमें immunoglobulin चाहिए, प्रोडक्ट्स चाहिए ब्लड से, तो हम ऐसे निकाल लेते हैं different प्रोडक्ट. Becoming a blood donor, that can be donated also. Science inquiry, question and answers are there now. So this is the content which I have discussed about the blood, and I hope you have understood it, and you will learn this chapter. And I hope your concepts are clear about the circulatory system. So with this, I would like to end the video here. Like and subscribe my channel and share with your friends who are in the 11th and 12th class who are preparing for the NEET. Thank you.